Hello there everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids. We're on the test server with some really bad news. Okay, so big warning. Big warning. I actually was streaming. I was on my Twitch channel. We were streaming some of the Dragonflight pre-patch for World of Warcraft. Just went live today in Europe. And you can check it out on my Twitch stream if you want. We're going to be streaming a bunch of Dragonflight stuff over there over the next, couple of months. So lots of streams over there. Just really chill and casual, just hanging out. You can chat and whatnot. But we had to stop the stream because of this. So this news has just come through from Plarium. Literally, 10 minutes ago, right? Content creators, pals, I have some news for you about the new champion who's yet to be released, Mycelliac Priest Orn. Under certain circumstances, his performance in some particular locations vastly exceeds the initial concept. So some adjustments are being made to his skills. So number one, his A1 now has a 15% chance to place poison, and his A3, 50% chance to put the poisons out, and then healing for 1%. So let's take a look at this guy. This was one of the most hyped up epics, and crucially, this is the fusion epic. So be really careful. If you've seen any videos, and this is why I'm doing this, I had recorded a video. This was my next video coming out today. It was coming out. It was coming out 13 minutes from now. Luckily they posted this post before I did the video. So instead of having a 30 books, so instead of a 40% chance when booked of placing poison on each hit, so two 40%, it's going down to two 25% chances, which is obviously much worse. And then instead of a 100% chance to put out poisons and healing by 5% max HP for every poison, now it's going to be, again, it's that minus 25%, right? So 50% baseline plus the 25 from book. So he's going to have a 75% chance to poison. You can use sniper to get it up to 80, but the healing is really being reduced, guys. So 1% heal for every poison placed instead. Now, this is a really big nerf. Really big nerf. You might be curious, why was he nerfed? What was so good about this guy? Well, if I actually super speed this video, here you can see, look, this is the news in game, right? If I super speed the video I recorded earlier, and we zip on through. So first of all, you can see how well, actually, hang on. We skipped ahead. There was a whole bunch of great info in this video, and now you'll never know. So we did build him with oppressor and stuff like that. I think we finished his yeah. So you can see this is roughly speaking the talent build. It's a bit awkward now, right? Because if you want to get the speed for soloing stuff, right, when your food champions die, so you're soloing dragon with this champion, the speed is really good, but you kind of want to extend the poisons. But now you kind of also want it's a pretty big nerf in that regard, but keeping him alive. And we can see his total stats here. These were the stats I built him with: about 60k HP, about 3.3k defense, 218 speed, and this. So it's certainly overkill to a degree. Like, this resistance is important for the resistance is important for Ice Golem, but it's not needed for Dragon. You only need 220 accuracy. Speed is good. The more speed you have is good. And these defensive stats. Now, the defensive stats in particular are probably going to change. If we come in here, and look, this is his performance against Dragon. So we're going to watch this, like, going through at 2 times speed. Again, the big thing that's going to change here, he's just going to put out less poison. So it's going to slow him down. And the A3 healing is going to be worse. Now, you can see I have him in regen set. And with the stats that he has, I actually don't think, looking at these waves here on Dragon, I think he's still going to be fine. It's going to be a bit slower. But look, on that first wave, like, with the stats we have, even without the healing on his A3, like, really the regen set is enough to keep him alive. Coming into this wave, like, I really do think that he's probably good with just the regen set, to be honest. Though the A3 does top him up completely whenever he uses it there. It's such a big heal against a 5-person wave. It's like it was a 50% heal. Like, if you put 2 poisons on 5 targets, that's 10 poisons, 5% per target. That is a 50% heal. It massively tops him up. But you can see he ripped through that wave in about 2 minutes. It's going to be slower now. It's definitely going to be slower. It might take you maybe more like 2.5 or 3 minutes. I don't know. We'll test it out. But I don't expect that nerf to go on the test server. I don't think we're going to be able to test it until we pull him in the live game. And you can see against this boss, like, he just A1s and it does his A3. He's not in any danger of dying. And you can see we actually did it in 2 minutes and 40. So this champion pre-nerf was absolutely fantastic for Dragon 25. Now, I still think he'll be able to, looking at that replay, I think this champion still gives you a good Dragon 25 solo champion. Now we come in here, let's jump ahead a little bit when we actually get into the run. So I tested him out then as well with the gear I have on stage 24 of Ice Golem. And what I found on stage 24 was that he could not do it for me. He could not do it. So number one, this wave, they have debuff cleansers and then 3 turns of block debuffs. These champions also put counterattack, which then slows stuff down. So he does get through the first wave, but it took him almost 2 minutes, right? With the nerf, it definitely would take 2. And then this wave here, this wave absolutely collapsed and he got crit and he was dead. So I do think he possibly could solo it, but you would need exceptionally good gear. And I don't think it's, that really worthwhile. Unless you've been super lucky with your gear, I think you need pretty crazy gear. However, for stage 23 of Ice Golem, where he's actually the positive affinity, and we've got better enemy types in the waves, it's much better off. So again, we could see we did get a bit of a heal from his A3 there, but the regen set is really doing most of it. And again here, the regen set is doing really all of it. Like he does not need the healing from his A3. So wave 1, again, he'd do it slower. He's putting out less poisons. He'll do it slower. We did it in just under a minute. It might not be that good. The good thing about being this affinity is, again, you can see the regen set is almost enough to top him up. Not quite, but very close. I actually, again, think that he could definitely do this. It's going to be a nerf. I do think that this is harder. You can see his health is going lower. He is actually healing himself with the move. So I think that there is some gear intensiveness here. I do think, he was definitely OP. I mean, you can see this test server footage in the background. The champion is clearly overpowered in the sense that he's an epic champion that can easily solo these 2 dungeons. And I really do mean easily. I really do. You can clearly see here, with the gear I have on, it's completely overkill. You could do this with much worse gear, and he would be doing absolutely fine as well. Like, we have not come close to wiping at all in these runs. And I don't have the most insane gear. You could have better gear on him. I've got very good gear, but like if you went in with much earlier game gear, you could absolutely be soloing this dungeon. The thing is, I do think, even with these nerfs, I do think he can probably still do it. Like I said, he'll be slower. It's the less healing thing that's a bigger issue, but I think he's still going to be fine, but you will need, decent-ish gear. But he's probably still worth picking up, to be honest. He's probably still worthwhile. Look, let me know what you guys think, and especially anyone that are sort of experts on soloing and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, so when he comes into the game, so we're not going to test it on the test server, but when he's actually in-game, live, this change will have happened. So yeah, I think that actually, honestly, it's kind of like the Eurogrim nerf. Remember Eurogrim? When Eurogrim came into the game? And I think Eurogrim was actually live in the game by the time they nerfed him. And it was something very similar, where Eurogrim was putting out way too many poisons, continuous heals, and he was just overpowered. Like Eurogrim, he was overpowered. He was better than bad Elkazar. He was better. He was really OP for dungeons and stuff. But people got really mad when they nerfed him, obviously. I think they did like a 10x for Eurogrim, and then they nerfed him like the next week. So it was a real mess. I do think that, like I said, wanted to add for myself, in given circumstances, there might be exceptional situations like this one. Decisions might be made closer to the release itself, with the test server already live, you being able to see all the things in the upcoming update. We do try our best to avoid it from happening. So again, the way I look at it is this, is that they clearly made a mistake. And they do make these mistakes, and obviously in a perfect world, they would perfectly balance every champion straight away. They clearly didn't in this case. This champion is much stronger than they anticipated, much stronger than they wanted him to be. He was exceptional, like really, really exceptional champion. I think that this new form of balance, it's a bit of a bummer. Like, I kind of wish that the healing wasn't nerfed quite as much, but I think it does actually seem fairly reasonable, fairly more in line with other epics. Because he was really, really, really strong before. So yeah, look, there you are. Yeah, look, I think it's good that they fix it or they change it before it goes live. I think that's okay, before people actually commit to the fusion. It's obviously frustrating because we see his potential on the test server, but think it's all right. I think that's okay. I don't mind that. But yeah, there you go. Like I said, I still think he's going to be good. I still think he could give your account the opportunity, for sure, to solo these dungeons. The possibility is there, but the awkward thing is, like, do you go for an extra copy? You know, like if you're not going for the fusion, I think it's definitely worth picking up one copy of him. But if you're going for the fusion and you want to get an extra copy, right? You want to get 5 of them and keep one extra. That might be a ton of work, and it's hard to know if it's going to be worth that extra chunk of work at this point without having the ability to test it. That sucks. That's probably the most frustrating thing about this. But yeah, I still think he's good. Not crazy, but he's still actually probably a good option. Judging from my testing, it looks like he will still be good, but just not as good. So there you go. Guys, thank you for watching. I guess actually the final thing to add in, like in terms of alternatives, there's not that many. Like Venomage is another good alternative. Now she does not bring healing, but she does have the AoE poisons, but she's blue affinity. So she's not as good for like the Dragon 25. She's the wrong affinity there, right? But should be fairly similar to Venomage, which I think still makes him quite decent. Anyway, look, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Warning out there, you know, just beware. It's not the same Orn that you've seen from these videos. Like in this video, I basically said it might be worth skipping the fusion to get this guy. It's absolutely worth getting an extra copy. For a lot of players, this guy's going to be super useful. It's not the case anymore necessarily. Right. Bye-bye.